Okay, so we cut the 1x2 into all the pieces we needed. Our long pieces for the height. These are our supports for going laterally, our width and our depth. And as you can see, we started kind of getting a shape for things. And we also had to pre-drill and pre-drill for some doweling that we're going to use to join the wood so we don't have to use screws. And this is the doweling we bought. And we're just cutting it in the saw for whatever short lengths we need. Okay. Alright, here we're cutting the dowel into short pieces, just 1-inch pieces, so that we can use them to join our 1x2. So we pre-drilled a hole using the same size drill bit as the dowel that we picked up and have cut, and now we fit that in there. This is just a dry fit. It should be tight, should fit roughly halfway in, and our receiving end also has a drilled hole on it, and they should fit together nicely. And when we're ready, after we've dry fit all our cuts, we're gonna glue them all as well. Okay, so we missed a couple of steps as we were working here, but I built this template, basically measured the halfway point here and here, drew a straight line across, and decided that I wanted my dowels 3 inches on center from each other. So I started with a smaller drill bit, and I drilled a tiny hole at center, tiny hole at center, tiny hole at center, so on. Stepped up to a bigger drill bit until I got to this big 1/2-inch guy, which is the right size for my dowel. And so this was my template, and I simply placed it on, lined it up nicely with my cross beam things here, and I drilled in, and I drilled just a little bit in because I didn't want it to go through my beam. I just wanted it to go 1/2 inch in, or actually less than that, like 1/4 inch or something. I didn't measure, but anyway, so I made a whole bunch of these, and they look like something you get from IKEA. And now we're attaching them to the side pieces we built. So there's one side, this is one side, and I decided not to use dowels to connect these pieces of wood to these pieces because these are going to be holding the weight of the bottles. And we pre-drilled for the screws so that the wood didn't split, and we're just screwing them in right now. So it's taking form. So now we've screwed all these, hang on, where's my finger? These cross pieces in to each of the sides that we had pre-constructed. And these are the pieces that have all the holes for the 1/2-inch dowel for where the wine bottles are going to sit. And okay, so I've been cutting more doweling, and we started putting the doweling in on different levels. So we've got 2 done, and the 3rd one is about to be done. Had to measure each individual piece of doweling to make sure, because unfortunately I didn't use the depth finder for the holes. So maybe if you guys were to do it, you might want to use a little attachment on your drill that makes sure that when you're drilling into the wood, you drill the same depth every time, and then you can just measure the same piece of wood. So that's what I would have done, and ended up just having to do the measurements out of these pieces. But anyway, so we're gonna put one in, and then I'll show you what that looks like after. Okay, so now all 4 levels for the wine rack are done. We gotta sand it, paint it, and put the tabletop on top. Good work, Lisa. So now we're measuring and cutting the tabletop, and I think it's a 9 1/4 board that we're using, and it's getting there. So I just need to make one more cut. Okay, so We were worried about wine bottles, like they're fine sitting here, but over here it was pretty close, so we decided to put in a little extra piece of wood, and it actually kind of has a decorative look. So right now they're all green taped in there because they're drying, because we glued them. And over here you can see we added this top piece, and we also have fastened the board together so that we have our tabletop, and attached the tabletop to the rest of the wine rack, and this thing's just screwed in at the back. And you can see it was actually, this was a piece of the board that we made the tabletop out of. Good work, Lisa. Alright, so we've stained it twice, 2 coats of stain, and Varathane on it, so it's got a semi-gloss on it. It's still drying right now, but like you can see, lots of the grain has come through. It looks really nice, and yeah, it's done. I think it's done. Maybe one more coat of semi-gloss, but I think we're pretty happy with it. Look at that, you can like see like my reflection on the table. That's pretty impressive. Okay. Okay, so basically we're going to build a wine stand, and we just bought a couple of pieces of wood, pretty cheap stuff. It's cost under $40 for all the wood, and there's some 1x2s and some dowels.